Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, so after I
Gotcha.
say your name, then do your little dance or whatever.
Dance.
Yeah, your
Whatever you want
dance.
to do.
I'm
Okay,
trying to
are you
figure out what
ready?
my dance move is. Can't do the Macarena or a twerk.
Too much.
What do you usually
You
do?
could twerk. Because I
Don't
got
think,
like
just do.
mismatched pants. I'm not standing up for a
No, you
dance.
don't gotta stand up. Like a little quick little half a second dance while
I
she's
got
saying it.
I got my Shein bodysuit. I'm riding the
Bodies.
wave. Da Bears, my nickname.
So if I say Eric, after Eric, do your thing. Whatever you want to do, but just finish quickly so I can get on.
That's what she said.
We wanted the smoke, so let's bring the fire. We're igniting the drama and chaos. This is Matches and Mayhem. We are your ride or die hosts, Nora, the Vendetta Queen, Raquel, the Cutthroat Contessa, Victor, the Duel Master, and Iraq, the Double Agent. Get ready for a reckoning as we dive into the gauntlet of season 40 of the challenge, Battle of the Eras. Woo! But why don't you take us in the 60-second meltdown?
All right, buckle up for my trivia era in this 1 minute meltdown. We got Cradled Cranium, where these poor souls sat 30 feet up, dangling like sneakers on the power line, desperately trying to remember their challenge history. While Era 1, Darrell CT, showed their big age throughout the episode, Era 4 failed to hold on, showing their small age. Meanwhile, Laurel started sipping on that toxic tea, throwing shade at Darrell for getting these frisky back rubs from Emily, and bullying her team to her will. That girl's getting out of pocket. Jordan, on the other hand, pulled a sus move. Come on, bro. You forgot Cheyenne? Shady much? In Pick It Up Elimination, Derek gave Horacio a rude awakening, showing these young bucks you never count out the legends. Anissa fails to reclaim the elimination record, but believe me, she reclaimed the respect on her name. Earlier, my reconciliation king Josh made up with Tori after being out of pocket last episode, but during the target selection, he backpedaled so fast he forgot his spine at the house. Classic Josh. The targets are getting spicier than ghost peppers now, and let's be real, the game is just getting started.
Yes.
All right. I like that.
I think we should jump right into the challenge because there's a lot at the end of the episode. So I just want to get through the little trivia part. What did you guys think? Because I know I think trivia is one of my favorite things they do, mainly because I love TJ's laugh as they fall. I love his happiness, makes me happy. But what did you guys think of this?
I liked it. I like the Jeopardy style trivia. I mean, it wasn't the most memorable trivia, but I think it was a solid one.
Yeah, I thought it was, the questions were very difficult to the point where, like, love trivia, but I couldn't really enjoy it fully because I didn't know some of these answers. I'm like, wait, who did what on season what? Like, these little tiny details, how would somebody remember this? They were all just like guessing, like using their best educated guess to get these questions right. But yeah, I just thought the questions were too hard.
I also didn't understand the scoring, which is like, I guess they had to pick how much they were gonna make, and then that was the higher the score, the harder the question. I don't really get that. I was a little bit lost. I just ask the questions and give us CT's laugh. I was like, let's not overcomplicate it. That's what we come for the trivia for. I also didn't understand. Sometimes one person fell, and then other times two people
Two people
fell.
fell. Yeah.
I
I
didn't.
said
I
the
don't.
same thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was.
did I miss something?
I think if you got it wrong on your era, you sent two random people in.
Exactly.
But I
Yeah.
think if somebody else got it, they said, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I like when they put some history of the challenge in there, like mixed in, but I guess it's just not as fun that, I don't know. I realized that I liked how when it's mixed, I don't necessarily love only the challenge questions. So I don't know. I guess
But
because this is such a big season, so it's
yeah, you're having
honoring.
Battle of the Eras. You have to have
Yeah,
all challenge history in here.
I guess. And I
But it's
also didn't.
funnier. Sorry, it's funnier when they're asking them like basic spelling questions and they can't do it. Like that's
Yeah.
what's funny. Is it's not as funny when they get it wrong. Is like, sorry, I don't know what sea they were swimming in season like 30. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I don't
we're
know.
thinking this is a miss then.
I did
Okay.
personally.
Out of all the trivia's we've seen in the past, didn't really stack up, and it's
Yeah.
like there's a big microscope on the season because it's Battle of the Era season 40. So if you're not bringing like the A game on the trivia, it's tough. But
I also think
I'm a-
maybe if they did the points a little different, like the 100, 200, maybe like if they had like a real Jeopardy style, like they could, I don't know, maybe it would have changed things up. I don't know. Just, it was a little confusing and maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough, but I was like, why are people dropping? Why are they saying like, I thought they were being funny at first, like, I'll take geography for 100. And I was like, are they being funny? Like, what am I
No.
missing? And then I started catching
Well, you
up.
missed the whole game then because the whole point was to do it Jeopardy style. So that's why
But
they
it
have the
wasn't
400.
Jeopardy because there was nothing you could call out 100 geography over and over if you wanted. You know, like that's not Jeopardy style.
No, I don't think. I thought they only had one question for each one.
But how would they know? Like if I'm sitting up there, how do I know which one's already been called? I have to remember it.
I think you can see it from up there. I think they have a board up there somewhere where
Maybe.
TJ was.
I know TJ did not laugh like a normal trivia laugh, and that tells me
He
it
didn't
was
laugh
a
as
miss.
much. Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't find it as funny. He loves the spelling ones. He loves the sport ones. He gets hyped over those. So without those, we don't get half the joy of trivia. Is TJ laughing hysterically and pressing the little button? He likes to make them fall too. So since he didn't have
Yeah.
control of that, I think it took away some of his joy, which then takes away my joy.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was okay. Like I enjoyed watching it, but I feel like it could have been done 10 times better differently. So,
So that is something we need to talk about is CT. CT's what we saw in the trailers, what we thought might be taking out, you know, the all-star himself CT. What did you guys think of that fall?
I mean, it looked like it hurt like hell. But that's one thing I learned about watching so much reality TV is you cannot take whatever edit they give you and like run with it and take it as like the holy grail. They want to spice things up. Like it was a lie. I knew it was going to be BS. Like they're not going to put that in the trailer if CT actually got hurt. Like he's such a big character in this game. They wouldn't have put that in there.
And as a seasoned challenge watcher myself, I knew this when I drafted CT, and I still took him. This is why I didn't trade him to Eric that last time, because I knew that he wasn't going to be gone permanently. That's why I denied your trade, Eric. I knew. And
listen,
he was coming back.
it took you 15 minutes to say his name. Let's not rewrite history like the challenge
What?
editors. It took you. You were thinking longer, and then last week you were the one who put him on the board. But yeah, you were right. That was there was no way they were going to take out CT this soon. There's no way he was going to let himself be taken out. So we're glad the big guy is healthy, and and I lost the bet, but we'll get to that.
Yep.
I knew he wasn't as bad when they didn't do the whole him laying in the water for a long period. You know, when they actually get hurt, they show a lot of that. They kind of just shuffled him onto the like ambulance as quick as they could and didn't really. So I was like, oh, so he wasn't really. I mean, we heard him like like in a little bit of pain, but I was like, that's probably all he really did. So that's all the sound bits they could use. So I was like, all right,
Yeah.
he ain't that bad then.
Yeah, not like when we got the slingshot to the face. They looked like they were going to do surgery right then and there. That was rough to watch.
Yeah.
But here, you're right. They quickly got him out. There was not too much to be seen.
Yeah.
You need a lot more than that to take out CT. A lot more.
So
Or it
that's
could be
really
next
it.
week, but
Well, I mean, he is hobbling a little, and I mean, when he came down, he's a big boy. Like, I knew that was gonna hurt, just the way he was flinging around that big body. Like, and it hurts when they fall in the water. We've seen so many injuries. We've seen implants being like busted on, was it Megan? I can't remember who it was, but so we know the water ones, people's noses bleeding when they come out and stuff. But I mean, he might be kind of rough. I mean, if it were me, he would be like an instant target at that point because he's probably like roughed up a little. Like, now's your chance to take a shot at him if you could, depending on the way the game goes. But that would be my thought, is like, let's go after CT while he might still be a little injured.
Yeah.
Who
But
has the
you know
balls to do that?
what'd you say?
I said, who has the balls to do it? Not Josh.
Oh no.
Not Josh. He
No.
was looking away, looking all types of ways,
Yeah.
praying to
What was
God.
funny? What was funny about CT is just like when the camera like goes back to him, it's like he took a nap. He just came out of hibernation. He's like, "Oh, what's going on? What's everybody?" And I'm just like, "Dude, you just came out of the water. Are you okay?" And I thought that was hilarious. Like, there's nothing wrong with the guy. He just got a little, winded from the fall.
Yeah.
so from trivia that was a little sus to a finale or a what's it called? Sudden death. That was a little sus. What do we think about when Laurel and Jordan faced off?
Very, very sus. I don't know, man. I was talking to Nora about it during it, and it just something felt off. It just something felt off with Jordan, almost as if he let Laurel win.
Oh, he definitely threw that. He definitely threw
Yeah.
that question. He definitely did. I don't know why. Didn't he and like Naya at some point make a deal with bananas, like when they went out to party or something? I don't know if I'm making this up, but okay. I don't know. He definitely threw it.
So we definitely have to ask the question: Did Jordan throw the challenge? This is a guy who prides himself on being upfront and playing the challenge with integrity, but the clues, they're very suspicious. One, he forgets the name of Cheyenne. He almost says it. He says
Yeah.
and then he looks over at Corey like it's obvious. In the interview, they ask him, and he, what went on there, and he was just grinning.
Yeah.
And then
Couldn't hide it.
his movements later in that conversation with Naya was almost like he kind of knew what was going down. So it's only one way we can come out on this. Jordan threw that challenge so Laura could win it.
But why is the question?
No blood
Probably
on
for
his
Johnny.
hands.
Yeah, no
I
blood on
figured
his
because
hand.
no blood on his hands. He knew he was going to be safe because he knew Laurel is like headstrong. Johnny's not going to be able to get one over on her. He's already having a good standing with Johnny. They kind of, have established a better standing. No blood on his hands. So I guess it's one of those things in his head. Maybe he didn't throw it in the way of like he lost it for his team. The team lost it, and he kind of was like, well, it's his ass on the line, not another person other than Naya, and they're like this, so.
And Johnny didn't fight too much. Like, usually he would try to convince Laurel a little more. He's just like, it's Laurel, guys, so I can't really convince her. I just thought that was also sus. I know they had a deal. Somebody made some deals and some trickery, and I think Johnny and Jordan just agreed, like, let's just take out these newbies and then we could figure it out later on.
Yeah, and I think it's a similar thing. Less blood on his hands too, lead up to Laurel. He kind of said, "Is like I'm close to Derek and Anissa, but I'm not gonna Tony this. I'm not gonna fight Laurel and get sent down in a stalemate." So he's kind of like, "Sorry, I'm not gonna fight that hard."
One thing I thought was very interesting, and we had talked about this, me and Victor, for a while through a few challenges, when Jordan and Laurel dated, and then I forget which one came back. I think it was Laurel, not Jordan. and just never spoke of him. There was no speaking of one another. Any challenge, even when they were together in the same challenge, they never spoke to like about the whole dating thing. And then all of a sudden this episode, it's brought up. I thought that, I don't know. I personally think Jordan, we know he comes from a well-off family. I think he has his own like non-disclosures that he has people sign off the show. Like, I feel like Laurel or so, I don't know. That's always been my personal opinion of him. Like, he comes from a very affluent family from what we hear of like his father. I don't know if he said his dad was an attorney or what he was, but we know his father is something. He has a lot of money, I believe. So I think he is one of those reality stars that like can't be taken advantage by production, because I think he has the standing behind him, the finances behind him to kind of protect him. And I feel like Laurel signed some kind of NDA, like, I don't know, a non-disclosure something, because why did she never say a word about him all these years? And he never brought it up either until this season. Even when they've been together, we haven't heard them talk about it. Like, what happened?
Sorry, I gotta put this down because that tea was piping hot. I can't hold it too much longer. That's crazy. I never even thought of that. You know, another, like, this just brings to my mind. I know on their season, The Real World, Jordan and Nia beefed. But then also, did they date? Did they, like, end up?
Yeah, I think there was some, like, insinuation of it. I don't know if it was ever caught on camera, but if he has NDAs with all these people, then they, we don't know. But there was some subtle hints that they did hook up or have something going on at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then
because all of a sudden it was all like they were like this after the Real World.
Exactly.
Because
yeah,
I think after, yeah.
Because on the, we saw the weirdness on the Real World and the dysfunction they had, which to me always told me they're almost like very similar in personalities. I was like, that's why they don't get along. They're both very hard-headed. They're both very immature at the time. So I love that we've seen them grow. Even then, they talked about, we had this when they came on that one season. I think they walked out together when Jordan had his longer hair or whatever. I forget what season that is. They talked about it. He's talked about his stuff with Tori. But with Laurel, something weird. And there's been a few other instances that like people just don't say anything about. They don't talk about Jordan. And I'm like, with all the drama online, all these people, and Laurel being the big mouth she is and loves to throw things in people's faces, this is the one person she's not going to do it to. It's weird to me. Something's weird.
Yeah.
And really on Jordan and Tori's breakup, at least I didn't hear, and you hear everything about Johnny and this person didn't work out, or like other couples, CT, like every step of the way his divorce has like been put out there. Not Tori and Jordan.
Mm-mm. It's very hush hush, and she doesn't say much, and she says, I won't say much, I have respect for him. They all say I have respect, but I'm like, it's because you can't talk about it. That's what it is, because it's all these women who are very pop off kind of girl, very emotional. Tori would have cried more, and she did some, but it's the behind the scenes anything with Jordan and any of the cast. You don't hear anything on a deeper level with Jordan outside, even though we know, like him and Johnny this season, that's some kind of probably deal before they got on the show.
Absolutely.
So there's something I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe he's such a good guy that people are like, but I've always had this weird thing after that whole thing. I was like, ooh, this is like, either it was like a DV, which I'm, that's a horrible thing, and I don't think it was that anymore. But at the time, I was like, maybe there was domestic violence or something, so they're not talking about it, because it's like, but then it just got more weird, because then they came on the same seasons. There was nothing weird, like, acted like nothing, just, hey, whatever. Like, I don't even know you, really.
The first time that they're like, oh, yeah, I have his back, or I have her back no matter what. I'm like, wait, what?
Since when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not a lot of mayhem points this episode. So, I did throw this out there. It got heated out of nowhere. Again, Laurel's popping off randomly. Her and Darrell. Let's talk about Massage Gate over here.
She is so messy.
I mean, I do vividly remember Darrell on another season having an issue with the whole, some girl, I can't remember, either massaging him or she's sitting on his lap, like rubbing his back, something weird. And
Yeah.
I don't think the cat, and I made a point. I was like, mm-mm. So I feel like Laurel's using that, like, oh, but when then they showed the scene with Emily, I was like, oh, that's not like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she's a massage therapist. There was probably other people right there too. They just, they want to, I don't know. I feel like Brad would say something because he's very like, if it was something more. But Brad didn't say anything, so I'm like, eh.
Emily did say though that she's here to have fun at dinner with Brad. She was like, "I'm just here to have as much fun as I can." So maybe they have an understanding, like, do what you got to do. I don't know.
Chill. Don't do that to
I'm
my
just-
boy Darrell.
No, I love Darrell. I'm just saying.
He's not there to have as much fun as he can. He's there to throw everybody under the bus and say, "I'm getting this cash." But
Facts.
but it's like Darrell is quiet, but we always know he's not one to be fucked with. And I'm not comparing these two situations, but he was, when the whole thing with him and Brad happened seasons ago, he was just sitting there quietly minding his business. All of a sudden somebody gets in his face and he's like, "Doop, nope, not me." Different situation, but Laurel thinks she can just pop off at him and is like, "Fuck you, Darrell, fuck you," to doing like her suck it thing all over again to Ninja. And he's just like, "No, fuck you." Like, it's just like, that's the wrong one. Don't like bully the people you think you could bully, but Darrell's not the one.
Seriously.
She thrives off that. And so we probably won't see her say anything ever again to him, because once she realizes he's going to bark back, Laurel's weak. That girl don't know how to fight. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's all bark. She's no bite. So not that I think Darrell would ever do anything, but I think she gets put in her place and then she just shuts up and just stops.
Yeah, most random barking so far this season. Just
Yeah.
But the ramification there is not with Darrell. I think that's like whatever. We weren't even friends beforehand. Doesn't matter. The ramification is with Emily because you called her out.
I would love to see a Emily and Laurel elimination so bad. I would love it.
Yeah.
I think Emily's, like, honestly one of the stronger women in that challenge. So I would love to see her go at Laurel.
And she's playing a smart game this season.
She
Just
is. Her
like-
social game is on point. It really is.
She's very likable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she has magic hands, says Darrell.
Apparently.
I don't know. I mean, she does have a unique type. I mean, we saw her on the Real World. Wasn't her boyfriend that she started the Real World, wasn't he, a little chocolate? He was a little darker. That is.
There's a lot of
But
chocolate.
he didn't look like Brad. I know that. He looked more like Darrell than Brad.
Snap. What are you trying to
Was
say?
that Ty?
No.
Yeah,
I can't
Ty.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. It was Ty.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about that, and kind of the theme of this episode, is what's really happening with these targets. TJ threw it out there, and we were all like chomping at the bit. What's going to happen with these targets? And we're already seeing the cracks start to form in these teams, where it's just like,
Right.
yeah, we're on the same era, but you are my competition. And the first one on that of that episode is Emily being like, "Why would you call me out in this random thing?" That makes me feel like we're not on the same team. So we'll see where that goes.
I'm trying to process when they're all at the bar. What drama? Because the drama's always at the bar when they're drinking. I don't feel like this time it was much drama. It was just more of kind of recapping what we talked about a lot. Like Johnny telling him, like, hey, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to see what I can do. And then we saw the couples kind of, Olivia and Theo. They're like 2 seconds for the whole show that we got to see. They were cuddled up, but no kissing.
Kiss.
No.
No kiss. Just
No
cuddled
matches
up.
Points.
No match points.
And then we had Emily. Speaking of Emily and Brad, they were having their little cute wine date. That was interesting of Brad.
Tell me more.
He's sophisticated. He's a sophisticated guy.
What do y'all make of Josh being like, and Tori? He's like, I spoke out of line, my bad, and like life goes on. I was expecting that, but I kind of wanted more drama for like the next episode. It was too easy.
What do you mean, Josh and drama?
Josh is too easy. That's why.
It was too easy.
I need friends. Tori, come back and be my friend. Even though you were laughing when they were talking about my girl getting her cheeks clapped.
Stop.
But I defended him so hard, and I was like, wait, you were just drunk? You didn't actually care what was happening? You just wanted to start shit because you were drunk? Get out of here.
No,
I'm pissed.
he saw how dumb he looked. He woke up the next morning.
But the thing is, I don't
and
feel like he looked dumb. He was defending something that was like,
He looked emotional.
yeah, all right. I think Tori was the one that looked super emotional.
Well, she always looks crazy.
if I ever walk up to any of you and is like, we're not friends anymore. You make fun of me. Like, you have the right to call me dumb to my face. Like, you look dumb. So right there to my face, because who says that?
Josh does.
All right.
But listen, we're going to give him a pass because he is the reconciliation king. He went, like I told you, he was out of pocket. He came at the wrong person. He shouldn't have been talking to her like that. He saw the error of his ways.
Yeah, he has no problem apologizing. So,
At least he didn't clap at her like a bad bitch on the table, like he did last season.
I mean, the season's still fresh, so let's give it some time. We have plenty of time for Josh to show his true colors.
for sure.
It happened later in the episode. We'll get to it, but it didn't take him long to be like, actually, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to segue into fashion segment. And this week, we're going to do it a little different because I was hoping we would get some great fashion at the bar. Didn't really happen. Nothing really happened. So I wanted to go into something really interesting. And this is going to be surrounded by primarily Brad, but any of the guys. But I'm going to focus on Brad right now because when we talk fashion, Brad's beard is its own character. I think they should name that beard. Personally, I think he should have his own shirt and his own elimination because when that thing's flying in the wind, when he's ponytailing it, like, it has its own personality. So there's this article, and I'm going to bring up some points, and I'm curious to see what you guys think about men with big beards. So in the article, it talks about men who have big beards are perceived to be very masculine, but with a lot of aggression because typically, a lot of testosterone helps grow beards. So if you're high testosterone, you may have a large, big, full beard. So what do you think that falls kind of, Brad? Is he a very masculine, aggressive guy? Does that fit his stereotype?
Brad's a sweetheart, okay? I'm shutting this down now. He's a sweetheart. Beard doesn't define you, okay? You can't, just because you have a big beard doesn't mean you're aggressive. Come on, guys. What are we doing here?
Cut to him being like, no, it's a necklace. He didn't have a beard then, though.
Yeah,
he was
it was
always
less.
like that. The beard didn't make him do it. He was always like that.
No, the Henny made him do it.
I think, I don't know if he's aggressive, but what really stands out is when he is under pressure, something else comes out of him where I'm just like, bro, just chill. Like, he doesn't know how to handle his stress, like, under pressure. So it can come across as aggressive, but I don't think he just walks around being all like, oh, I have a beard and I'm aggressive. Like, no. But put him under stress to solve a problem, put him in a team and like with super complicated communication, and he's going to get aggressive. Yeah.
I also don't think he handles his liquor well. You know how some people just, like, they're not meant to drink? Something in their bloodline is like them and alcohol. Because anytime he's turned up, it's like he goes from having fun to some really bad drama. Like over, like, the pizza incident, like, quick little things. So I'm like, maybe, Brad, we got to stop drinking. I don't know. Because it doesn't ever end that great for him with the drinking and when he's like having a turn up moment. But now that he has Emily, Miss Meditation, he's a meditating man now. So, I mean, you know, whatever Emily is, he is. So, the next point it talked about, men who have large beards are perceived to be powerful and very mature. I don't think that's Brad personally.
That is not Brad.
I would say he is mature in that, you know, he's an older guy going after these younger girls on the challenge. So, listen, you know, if you...
He's getting it right now.
Well, that goes into the last point. It talks about how a lot of women will view beards because of these things. Men are more masculine, more this, that, as more attractive. So that was going to be my sum up point. Do we think that's how he's getting these girls? Because overall, Brad might have a great personality, but from what I've seen on the challenge, and obviously there's probably more to him than what we get to see, he's not somebody that I'm wanting to continue a relationship outside of the house. He is a little hot-headed. He used to get mad at his ex for like crying. Granted, she talked about him not having a job consistently. So, I mean, like, you know, there's more. But just we've seen him pop off quite a bit. But he always ends up with a girl. He's always booed up in that house.
I think if you peel back the beard, you can see the other layers of Brad. You know, just move it just a little bit. You can see what's behind the beard, which is his heart.
The underbeard.
That's what they see. Neck beard. But yeah, I mean, I think he might come off like that, but I think probably inside he's probably like a big teddy bear, and that's what these women go after.
The younger women.
The younger ones, yes. So why would he want an older woman, right?
Ooh,
Maybe one around his age.
that is getting cut out of this. It is not getting posted. No way.
Either that gets cut or you get cut by some random victim.
Oh damn.
That's hilarious. No,
yeah.
I think Brad's beard is just like you said, it's a character of its own. I'm excited to see it. Like we could say that maybe there was 41 people on this challenge to start. You know, I like that it has different shades each season. It looks a little bit different. I like that the beard has its own sense of style. Like I don't feel Brad has much of a style, but the beard itself, like, you know, likes to flex every once in a while. Sometimes it'll be bound up, and, you know. I wouldn't mind seeing like some beads, maybe hey,
one of the Cara Maria's feathers.
the feathers. Yeah, why not?
Look, I'm praying to the challenge gods that we get a behind the scenes, one of those snippets of the Brad grooming like montage. Like I need to see. Please, challenge gods, if you're listening in this season or next time Brad's on, please give us a segment of him maintaining his beard before the challenge, combing it when he ponytails it. Or I want to see these girls when they're laying next to him, running their fingers through it. Do they braid it? Because, you know, like usually the guys that have longer hair, the girls are always doing their hair, their cornrow. You know, like it's half the fun of it. I want to see it with Brad's beard. So challenge gods, please.
Absolutely. What's the self-care routine? What's the morning routine and the night routine, bedtime routine? That's interesting.
You'll see it on his commercial because I think he has a beard oil company, right?
Well, good for
Does
him.
he?
I think I heard that somewhere.
I mean, he
I
should.
think he does. I think I saw that
he's
somewhere.
on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I don't know. I'd love to see, like, does he bonnet it at night somehow? Like, I don't know. How does he keep that thing so, like, soft and, like...
A beard bonnet.
I mean, like, I don't know. I just challenge gods, listen to us.
Does the beard put on the under eyes stickies on
Cream?
itself? Yeah. How does it take care of itself? I
Well,
wonder if he ever shaved it off, if Emily would run off with the beard and not with Brad. It's a wonderful
could he
thing.
sell that if he's going through a rough time? Could he cut that thing off and sell it to on eBay as one of those? Because I know the Big Brother people, and I'm sure the challenge people do it. They take home props and things and they sell them on eBay. Brad's beard is something I would potentially bid on because it is its own character. It is its own person.
Just there are certain things like Brad's beard, TJ's laugh, that just take off on a life of its own.
Yes.
The challenge is the gift that keeps on giving.
Well, speaking of gifts, I want to get into the really good stuff. We got to get to elimination because to me, this is one of the best eliminations. I was hyped. I was feeling it. And TJ, once again, when we talk about TJ Joy is my joy, he was hyped. So me and him were locked in on this episode. So what did you guys think of elimination?
Controversy.
I thought you were gonna say I didn't like it. I was so scared.
I don't trust it. Something was fishy. Something was fishy.
There is something I'll point out. I pointed it out to Victor and I was like, is that bad editing? So we'll ask you guys when we get into it a little bit, but there was something weird.
Something was fishy.
It was an awesome game because it combines athleticism, endurance, a little bit of that, trickery. Can you just get the ball in the basket? What Fessy would call mildly or athletics, acts. And then some strategy. How many do you pick up on the way? Do you go one by one so you make sure you don't drop the ball? Or do you try to pick up more, try to get them fast? So that the game itself was awesome.
I love CT's pro tip this season or this episode was don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Yeah. And that was true. Personally for me, I would, and I'm sure all of us are probably going to say it, but Jenny being so winded, the girl was about to pass out. I was like, they're gonna, yeah.
So Jenny being winded, do you guys think she maybe isn't at the level when she won a challenge at that stamina, or was she getting pushed by Anissa to keep a pace that was challenging, and maybe she just took it to the extreme?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think what happens is sometimes, TJ reads out the instructions or whatever. Folks don't go in there with a strategy. They just go right into it and they start trying to win without really understanding what is my process? How can I not tire myself out? So I think she tired herself out. Anissa had people helping her. I mean, maybe they both did. But, and this goes back to what I said a few episodes ago, muscles don't really matter sometimes. Sure, you can pick up 300 pounds, but are these muscles really holding you back when it comes to stamina? Are you doing your cardio? I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. I think she didn't really have a strategy. She was being pushed because also this was a challenge where, and I know I talk a lot of shit and I'm one of Anissa's biggest critics. I was actually rooting for her. It was heartbreaking when she was eliminated. So I think she was underestimated. Jenny thought that Anissa was going to get tired after, trying this 15 times. And that wasn't the case. And so she had to switch up her strategy. But by then she got too tired and she was winded. So it always goes back to strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give Anissa some props too, just a little bit. She hung in there. She was moving. I think Rachel said that she's been, or Tori, one of them, or maybe both, were saying that she's been working on her cardio and her movement. So I mean, I give her props on that. She hung in there. She was pushing Jenny, and she could have won it. She could have won it with one false step from Jenny. So.
Mm-hmm.
I also think, and I mean, I know Jenny's always been chiseled. We've always seen her But maybe because this episode in general, we actually got to see Jenny more. I feel like for so many, even on her limbs and stuff, like, we don't really get to see much of her, but this one we did. She is chiseled. So I think a lot of her, like, her fitness routines don't necessarily include cardio. I think she is more of like bodybuilding, which, as we see, a lot of like bodybuilder types, heavy lifters and stuff, sometimes even have bigger bellies because they don't do a cardio base. So to me, it would concern me to run a final with her, like just like Anissa, because she was really winded. Now, granted, it could have been the editing with her having to throw that ball. We didn't see how many times. I'm sure that has to be tiring too. That's, that is cardio. So maybe she had to do it like 40 times, 40 more times than Anissa. And that's why, I don't know. But Anissa did great. Once again, I can't knock her for that.
So then we get, TJ said it best. The lady set the tone and the guys had to deliver. And man, Horacio, a lot of focus was put on this episode. Is like we should put the big guys Horacio and Jordan against each other because we don't want to run a final against them. But you can never underestimate the pit bull, Derek. Yeah. All heart, just like pushing it to the edge and barely, maybe not, we don't know, but barely beating Horacio on that last throw. It's like it's the photo finish that we all want on these eliminations. It's the most hype. So
what I want to share, maybe, I don't know, Victor, if I'm stopping you, but I would like us all at one point, and we can talk about it and recap it next week if we want, but even the viewers, go back and watch that whole thing. Derek is missing one in the top right corner. So it's either bad editing or it fell out and they're allowing that to... Because I feel like typically TJ would say, no, if it falls out, you have to redo it. Like if you didn't put it in hard enough. But it was at the very end, and when they scan over to Derek's and he needed, I think, 2 and Horacio needed only 1, Derek needed 3 because the top right corner was missing. I don't know.
I don't want to get too deep into this because Derek's on my team. So
I want a grand jury investigation. Horacio was cheated. He shouldn't have been gone.
TJ has spoken. Okay? TJ has spoken.
Yeah, I think for me, it was very tricky because I thought like Horacio, hands down. Like when I watched the episode, I'm like, hands down, he got this. The problem is that production, and they have a history of just making shit up as they go along. Like, maybe at some point, Derek did have all his little jacks in the hole, and then like a little bit of wind came and knocked it over, and it wasn't his fault. Whatever the case was, yes, we all know that it wasn't there. How production made that decision, we will never know because of the edits. Like, apparently one of them went on live and they said that it took 45 minutes to production to come back and like announce the winner. I don't know what they looked at for 45 minutes. I can't really say. What I do know is that Derek worked his ass off. And I think what's interesting is that like there's this idea of what a competitor should look like, what a threat should look like, and it would look like a Jordan, it would look like a Horacio, it would look like all these other like CT. Derek, smaller guy, more down to earth, is never seen as a threat, and I think he was a little bit underestimated. I think it was legitimate. I think he won fair and square.
I don't think people underestimate Derek anymore after all these years, but I didn't know it took 45 or 40 minutes to come up with a decision. That explains a lot, because usually TJ would say something like, just to recap it, like, okay, I know you're missing one, but it counted. They just never mentioned anything about it. He just kind of skipped over it. So I found that really very interesting. But when you saying that it took 40 minutes, it kind of makes sense now. So maybe they deliberated it, they kind of argued it, and then they said they probably counted that because I think he did knock it off. He knocked a few of them off, so I think they probably ended up counting those. Yeah,
he did.
So I want. We'll never get the official decision from the challenge and how they adjudicated that, but Here, I am calling to court, challenge court. You are our jury. On the defense, we have Derek. He knocked over one of his pegs. It fell out. He had put it in, but it wasn't in at the end of the challenge. On the other end, you have Horacio, who did not put him in before Derek, but he had him all in at the end. What is your judgment? We'll go to juror number 1, Nora. Was that peg in the hole? Should he have been called the winner?
No. No. Because I feel like it comes down to any of the challenges we see in the eliminations, when they have to build something, whatever, if there's time frames to it, if things fall off, we've never counted them. So why in this one? And I love Derek. So I have like an attachment to Derek from so many seasons. So it's not even that I like Horacio more than Derek. I love Derek. I would love to see him continue. I think, he talked about how he has a baby on the way and one in high school. That's crazy. So I'm glad to see him there, but no, I don't think that's not fair. If you didn't put it in hard enough, that sounds bad. If you didn't put it in hard enough, then no.
If you didn't
But
put
maybe
it in,
it was poorly
you must have quit.
designed. Yeah, maybe production is like it was poorly designed or something. Maybe it was on their bad. But I think in any other elimination, and it was due to, it's his fault. It wasn't staying in unless it's production's fault. And the way they glossed over it, it very well could be. But to me, as of right now, with no further information, no. Derek lost.
Juror number 2, Victor. Did Derek peg the hole?
I plead the fifth.
That's
It doesn't matter.
Self-incrimination. You're not on trial here.
Yeah.
You're a juror.
Yeah.
But he's on my team, and I'm incriminating my points, so I plead the fifth.
But we can't kick him off. It's not like our opinion will get him kicked off the show. It's already Wrath filming, so you can be honest. Be honest.
In my opinion, I think, based on what I saw, because, edits, they could have made it look closer than it was, but I think if it was as close as they said it was close, like as much as they showed it was close, I would say Horacio. Just because he had all of them in at the end. But at the same time, I feel like Derek probably already had it all up, minus that one. Rung it. Horacio saw that he was missing one, still finished him, and then because if you look at the way Horacio was moving at the end, he wasn't moving like he was in a rush. He was moving at like a leisurely pace.
Yeah.
He was walking. He had one hand. So that's why I think they just made it seem like it was closer than it was, but I feel like it was a lot less closer than what they made it out to be.
Do you think he saw that Derek had already completed, and so he caught it, completed his puzzle, but didn't rush because Derek maybe just finished like 10 seconds before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like something like that, yeah.
All right, juror number 3. We need a unanimous vote to convict here.
Oh, Lord. Wait, you're the judge? Who are you? What number are you?
I'm an impartial adjudicator. Do not take into consideration that Horacio is on my team and devastated my points. We'll get there, but juror number 3, did Derek get it in the hole? Or did his peg go soft at the worst moment?
I don't have...
Did he get peg-tile dysfunction?
Oh my God.
This is tricky. I don't have all the information. I feel like at one point, Derek had all of them. Somehow, one of them fell off. It could have been when he knocked into it. Maybe he put it back. I don't know. All I know is that I don't really like Horacio.
Damn!
Ooh.
No, I think he's great. I think
But you
eventually...
already say you think he's stupid in the past podcast.
Yikes.
I'm going to rephrase that. I feel like in due time, he will be a great competitor. I think right now he's depending too much on his workout situation and like being a gym rat. that's only going to take you so far. If you want to be like a true competitor on the challenge, you got to work on some other skills,
Social.
like social skills, puzzles, math,
True.
trivia. That's it. He'll get there. It's just not right now. So, I mean, he's not completely just like dumb. He just has to work on stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hung jury.
We do have a hung jury. I think
And-
I just don't have all the information to be like this person won over this one. I think production makes things up as they go along. That's all.
In reality, this is a moot court because we know this is a dictatorship and TJ's word is law. So, Derek, congratulations. You've pulled out an amazing elimination victory. And sent
Literally, he
home-
pulled out. Literally.
Hey-o.
Yikes.
So that was amazing. And then we get to what I think is going to be the highlight of the episodes every week. As long as these teams aren't playing kumbaya and everyone's like, raising their hand, you can vote me in as the target. We get some decisions being made here.
Well, you can raise your hand and volunteer, and then elimination, then just act like that never happened. You could do that also.
That's a brilliant
Amnesia
strategy.
works. Yeah. Amnesia card.
Who came up with that one?
I don't know, but I know who used it.
I think that might have been my favorite part of the show. I literally was in tears laughing at Josh when he was like, I'll do it, I'm tough, I've worked my, mentally, physically, and I was like, all right, a little bit of respect for Josh. I was actually, I'm impressed a little bit. And then we get there and CT raises his hand and then they scan over, they have whatever, I forget the next era, but then it gets to Josh and he's just like, dead silent.
Then he goes over Josh. She was like,
Yo, I'm dead.
no.
The Dominican and him wanted to come out. I was like, ¿Qué tú estás loco?
He's
No way te
Cuban.
contas sin ti. Oh, he's Cuban? Oh, I
He's
can't
not
do that shit.
Dominican. He's Cuban. Yeah.
Damn. Raquel was quick. Like, no.
Yeah, she said,
We ain't
we're
claiming
not claiming him.
Oh.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I mean, the CT fear is real. I don't blame him, but he just did it in the cordiest way. Just like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I can do this. I believe in myself. And it was like, but not against CT. But here's the thing. I don't believe in the volunteer. If it's not your teammate down there, it's different if it's your teammate and you're trying to keep your team glued together. Which was the case here because Jenny was down there making the vote. For you to kind of going back, if it's not your teammate down there, yeah, don't volunteer. Put it on the person picking.
Yeah.
And don't go down. You don't want to go down into elimination. Avoid it as much as possible. That makes sense. But he's the one who stepped up, and your teammates down there, and now you're just staying silent, bro. Come on.
That was hilarious.
It took him less than 20 minutes to step on his dick again in another episode. Come on.
That's Josh for you. And Corey did the same thing too, though. Well, similar, not the same thing, but.
So you guys tell me. I never saw Corey tell Devin, "Hey, don't worry, it's my turn this week."
We never saw it, but we're not going to see what happens 24/7.
Well, then it didn't happen.
Was
I think Devin is
Devin
one of-
ever nominated?
No, he hadn't gone down either.
No. Oh, okay.
I think Devin's worse than Josh, though, in the end. Devin's a scaredy cat. And he says, I don't want to volunteer. It's like Johnny. I don't think Johnny's ever going to volunteer. They say, let's all take turns volunteering. Johnny's going to be the first to say, I'm not volunteering.
Yeah.
Well, now Devin, pretty much. But I think Devin just assumes, oh, I shouldn't have to go down. They should all have... No, you have to go down, too. It's...
Yeah.
That's my thing. I wouldn't trust that Devin would volunteer or Johnny or certain people. So I'm not going to volunteer. I'm not going to do that to myself where there's a chance I volunteer and then get called in by somebody who might not like me again. Well, there's no guarantee by volunteering that you're safe and you'll take turns. So no, let them pick. Let them get some blood on their hands.
Yeah, I don't get where Devin was coming across like, hey, why didn't you volunteer? Now I'm in. Like, bro, like, I ain't here to save your ass.
His
And Corey's face was
she
just like,
said his
nope. Corey was just looking straight like, nope.
He's
focused.
he had the funniest, like, he's like, Jesus, take the wheel. That's hilarious.
And Devin's face when she said his name, he's like shocked by it. I was like, Devin, come on. Like, why is it that surprising? Like, everybody's going to get called. Well, maybe. Most people are going to get called, so. But I guess once you hear CT's name called, then you're like, crap, I really hope I'm not. That's the only time I might volunteer is if all the other girls that got called in, I feel like I could really beat, that I'd be like, all right, let me try to take one for the team and seem like I'm a team player and be like, yeah, B, okay, I'll try it.
So even with CT's age, do you still think? Well, I know he has the reputation, right? So maybe that's why they're all scared to go against him. But do you think it's still warranted at this point of his career in the challenge?
You're really playing Russian roulette there.
Yeah.
His puzzle game is elite. He's bigger and stronger than you. The only way I can see it is a challenge like they had that day where it's like running back and forth, 50 times. And that he's slowed down in. But you're banking that, and that's on top of it. His strategy would have been on point too. Like he said, don't get greedy. I'm going to get these 2 at a time, and I'm just going to be a machine. You're just, at this point, I think you're only hoping that you got more stamina than him because of his,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when they first brought out, like, was it like the Brits and maybe people from Spain, like whatever that season, when it was like America versus like the UK or something, it was right after I think he had his first kid, so he was really out of shape. He had the full-on dad bod we saw, and he still killed it. So like that's the thing with CT. He might, physically we see him gain some weight, we see him lose weight. CT will still push himself, like he has mind over matter. I mean, to what extent, I don't know, because age does take a toll, but his puzzle game is so on point that even if, and what we've been seeing is it's some puzzle, some endurance. His puzzle's so ahead that, like, if he did have to go against, I'm just saying, Horacio, because we know he's not great with puzzles, he would bypass him by so long that he could do the physical part while he's still trying to fill out, Horacio's trying to figure out a puzzle. So that's why I think he's very intimidating still.
And that's why I drafted him. I just wanted all the flowers.
I wanted to ask, because as they go through each era that's not on their own team, I think Jenny was like asking who wants to volunteer. Derek was like, "Hey, if you haven't gone down, it's your turn." It's like, I just want to be fair. I thought that was a missed opportunity. Like, if you're down there, shoot your shot. Forget this kumbaya stuff. Like, you're looking as like, oh, Devin and Corey, you haven't gone in yet. Fuck that, Jordan. You're back. You're back. Target's back on you.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to put a target on his back by calling somebody out. He didn't want to, stir the pot.
He always already. I always find that confusing. You're already down there. You're already being targeted, and you have kind of another week left. I feel like they in this case they didn't use that opportunity to its fullest extent to like put the pressure on throw Laurel back down there, see if you can get her down there again. Rather than, hey, if it's your turn, you go, no, like, I want to get the people who are stronger than me out, because what happened? I'm down here anyway. Derek is down there anyway because they didn't want to take a shot at those big names. Well, guess what? I'm going to take my shot again anyway.
I think Jordan said it best this episode. We kind of skimmed over that when they were in deliberation and Derek brought out his little cheat sheet on why the other eras are so much better. And Jordan, I think, really summed it up best. One, who do you want to have, you know, like where do you want the blood, and then who's going to help you. So taking a shot at Jordan, the likelihood is he is probably going to win. So he's probably going to get to pick the target, and who's going to win to offer you safety, you know, in return? Probably Jordan. So it gets a little tricky with that. I think that's why the whole targeting thing can be kind of nerve-wracking, because you want to take these big targets out, but I don't know, like you also have to be really careful, because if they win, you're going right up there, and then you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we don't know with this whole targeting thing when it's going to end. It's very challenge-like for it to just be like, oh, no more targeting, we're going to switch it up. And I feel like we're going to see that soon. I was also curious, like we were talking about it, it wasn't mentioned, but I was like, so if I'm up, like, was I targeted this week? Can I be targeted again next week? There was no rules behind that. And that's why I think once that starts happening, production will put an end to it. Like, okay, somebody's getting targeted too many times, we're getting bored. Let's change things up. Let's switch things up or something.
Yeah, my assumption was, it could be wrong, Johnny and Laurel were safe from being targeted because they won. I don't know.
I think if you won, you can't be targeted. But I don't know if you could be targeted back to back.
I feel like you can, because they didn't say you can't, but I don't, maybe because there's so much going on in this season. I can't always I feel like I'm kind of, maybe I'm getting old too. I don't know. Like, I can't keep up with all the rules sometimes. I'm like, so can they be targeted? Or like when people were both falling in, when multiple people, I was like, why are they falling in? They didn't answer wrong. I don't know. Either they're not explaining things in full because there's so much they're trying to fit in. Maybe they needed to make these like an hour and a half episodes or something to like fit in everything we need.
We're still looking at you, Karma Points. We haven't forgotten about you.
Yeah, and are the people that are leaving now, are they also doing it still?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. We didn't see that.
I would
see what I mean.
So.
Yeah, I would hope.
But I forgot
so.
about Karma Points because it just kind of fizzled off. That's what I'm saying. There's so much going on. You have to be, and they don't even know about the Karma Points, but this whole targeting thing, I would not rely on it. I would not bank on it. That it's going to go on forever, that everybody's going to get a turn. No, I'm not volunteering myself. I'm not doing anything because I know how this game works. You got to call my ass down there to get down there. Otherwise, I'm not going. I'll let my teammate go 3-4 times. I don't care. Raise your hand, girl. Go ahead.
So we have we're looking at a fallout between what Josh did to Kylan. Now Kylan's pissed. Devin and Corey, like, you know, what the heck's going on over there? And then Laurel, I don't think she's in the best graces of her own team. The way she bullied that decision to say, I think her team wanted Jordan in to take advantage. And she's like, no, not happening. I'm choosing Derek, and that's it. And we saw Ryan's not happy with her. Cara is not happy with her. I don't know.
There's
she's
gonna
on my
be some
team,
points next week, I think, from the preview.
Yeah. So it looks like
points. I guess we're time to talk about points then, right?
Let's go.
All right, guys. This is the points for episode 4. We have -2 for Raquel. I gained 17 points. Nora lost a point, and Eric lost -10 points from episode 4. Ouch, Eric. What a fall. So total score is Raquel with 26. Kel's in the lead with 26.
Yay.
I'm right behind you, 22. Then we got Eric with 9. Well, no, you're kind of close with -22. So
yeah, just take away the minus.
Eric also lost both Anissa and Horacio.
Anicia?
I like that.
Anacio. Killer
Eric
combo.
lost Anacio.
Listen, like as the Joker said, I'm a man of my word. I bet Anissa would stick it out longer than CT. We came ever so close this episode from that happening. It didn't come through, so that was 7 points lost on top of her 5 points of elimination. But what really grinds my gears is you couldn't keep the waterworks down. You couldn't just not cry. This episode, another point lost for me. Devastating. And then Horacio, man, come on. This reputation you're building of being this elite athlete did nothing for me. That was my number 2 guy I picked. Devastated.
I mean,
can we just talk about I didn't lose somebody this episode?
Yeah,
I got like 4 people, and I didn't lose anybody. Impressive. Even though Nia, whatever, was down there, I was like, please, I can't have her. If I lose her, what do I got? I got nothing. I can't lose anybody. So at some point, I can't lose points because I have nobody. But we'll see.
I think your biggest hope is this Theo Olivia romance. You need to write them letters and give them a pep talk. Give them a bedroom pep talk. Like, hey guys, just go for it every episode.
For such big characters, like, they're not seen at all. I'm like, do something. Go and make out in every scene. At least you'll get some airtime, because they both definitely look like airtime type of people. Like, don't disappoint me. Like, very disappointing. Not even at the bar. I didn't get a kiss. Nothing. Not one stupid point from you two. What a waste of an attractive couple. Just standing there.
It just shows you in such a big season where you get all the biggest challengers, the people who just rise to the top are the Mount Rushmore. Laurel, CT, Bananas. They're all up, always in the mix. Josh. These legends, they're just all in the mix. Not yet, not this week, but Jordan. Yeah, so yeah.
I have to say something that I'm just realizing, because even Johnny, we're not getting a lot of Johnny airtime anymore. I think CT, I don't care if Johnny's won more challenges. Production, I think overall, has always loved CT more than Johnny. TJ, different. I think TJ has loved Johnny Bananas more. But production... And did you guys see in the gym, I wanted to point this out the other day and I totally forgot, but in the gym they have the picture of DM.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love that they did that. But I wonder if that's really hard for CT to see, because that's the one I think where she had the swim cap type thing. I was like, oh, I love that, because it is an all-star, huge, and she was an amazing competitor. I mean, I couldn't compete and I don't even have a sickness. And that girl was out there sick and able to compete and whooping ass. So I'm glad they honored her and paid tribute to her.
Same. Well, I think we're going to go call it an episode. Raquel, I want you to, braid my beard later like Brad's.
Oh, please. No, sir.
Nora, I think Victor needs one of those frisky Emily back rubs.
I do.
All right.
It's tight.
Only if he wears the bodysuit. That's what I'm into. Bodysuits and feathers.
Easy access there. So,
I don't know. I hear a Halloween special is coming soon, right? Because it'll still be going on during Halloween. We got to dress up as something. So
Yeah.
Rocky Horror Part 2.
I'm down. I'll do the Rocky Horror costume. Or
I think that would be
there.
so
John
fun.
A. I'll do the John A costume.
That's much more like it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So until next time, Josh, keep doing your thing. Bye.